everyone, Mama Mike here, and today is a quick video. These are my anime recommendations for July 2017, so let's get right into it. Starting off is Keijo. This is a show that I did not think I would like, but I just saw so many people talking about it, and I thought I just have to give it a try, and oh my goodness, was it a great show. The sport of Keijo is simple. Participants need to keep their balance atop floating lands in a pool of water. Their goal is to knock their opponents off of the land using only their boobs and butts. Of course, the show has a lot of fan service, and I'm probably not the target audience for this show, but it actually has a really great story. The main character is Nozomi Kaminashi, and she has one goal, which is to become a Keijo prize queen. And while Keijo is a sport that only has one winner, she's going to learn the power of friendship and teamwork to help her reach her dreams. This is a sports show, so there are tournaments throughout the series, and the stakes actually feel really high. And then there's also like the training segments and the montages of them not being very good but then getting a lot better. And it actually is one of those shows that made you want to go out and work out or something. I don't know, something about the show just made you want to get moving. It looked like so much fun to go for a jog, to just go swimming. It really made me want to go swimming, actually, because when I watched this show, it was still a little bit too chilly to go swimming. Now it's nice and hot. But I thought, wow, do I want to go for a swim after watching that. And speaking of swimming, the next show is Free Iwatobi Swim Club, but this is actually a funny story. I didn't realize I was watching the second season of the show the entire time because it was the only thing available in the Funimation app. All they had was the second season. So I thought it was a little bit odd that some of the characters, it almost seemed like there were some inside jokes that I wasn't getting, but I've also watched some shows before that kind of just throw you into the mix. They don't introduce the characters, you just get to know them as they kind of talk to each other. There isn't a formal introduction like in some shows that start you off kind of slow. So I just thought maybe it's one of those shows, it's fast moving. I got myself right into the story, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I had no idea the entire time I was watching the second season of the show. It made a whole lot of sense once I realized that, because they would allude to things that had happened when they were kids, but they wouldn't show those things. Then I learned that the first season of the show shows them when they were children and knew each other, first starting to become friends. But this show is centered around a high school swim club that is losing some of its membership, and they have just the bare minimum amount of members to still be a club. And they're in dire straits because two of their members will be graduating high school at the end of the season. So they're trying to drum up more members, trying to get more kids interested in the swim club. A lot of that is very humorous as they try to make the swim club look cool. And then of course there are old friends and old rivalries that keep coming back during their last season as high school swimmers. And this show also focuses on what do you do after high school, trying to figure out what you want to do while you're young. That really resonated with me. I took a year off between high school and college because I just had no idea what I wanted to do. The job I had planned on going towards ended up being something that I just could not do. And so then I really had to evaluate and think, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to go to college for? Before I spend money going to college, I wanted to make sure it was something I really liked. So I really understood sort of the dilemma these kids were facing of being young and trying to decide what your future is going to be at such a young age, at an age when so many things are decided for you, where you go at what times, your day is so structured when you're in school, and then suddenly having freedom. It's just a very strange feeling. So that really got me, and I liked that aspect of the show because it reminded me that it's okay to not know exactly what you want to do with your life. And I do plan on watching the first season of the show, but I'll say that the ending of the show was really good, and if you have watched both seasons, I'm sure it wraps up the show wonderfully, but even just seeing just the second season, start to finish, it was a great show. Next on my list is Sakura Quest. This show centers around Yoshino Koharu, a girl who has accidentally agreed to be the queen of a sleepy little village outside of Tokyo. She has agreed to this job thinking that it was just a one-day assignment, but now she has realized it is a full-year position trying to revitalize the town of Monoyama and trying to get more tourists to come to the area like there used to be. It's not going to be an easy feat. The town used to be a popular tourist attraction, but it had trouble keeping up with the times. So now Yoshino and her friends will have to figure out ways to make people see the old sleepy charm of Monoyama while also making things modern so that more tourists will come and appreciate the town for what it is. It's an adorable show. It's a lot of friendship and sort of finding your place in the world. It's not sappy by any means, but it's a very good show. Happy, positive vibes, a lot of humor in the show. And I just so far really liked it. If you're looking for a show that's a little bit of comedy, a little bit of slice of life, but you know, with a little bit more oomph to it. I don't want to say slice of life and have it sound boring, but it is kind of showing the day-to-day tasks that these girls are doing, trying to revitalize the town, but all of them have humor injected into them, and it's just a really well-rounded show. And lastly on my list is a show that is new to me, but I'm sure many people have seen it, which is Black Butler. This is a show that I had wanted to try, but I was afraid that it would be a little bit scary, but it actually isn't. I'll talk about that in a bit, but I'm actually very happy that the show is not scary. This show follows a young boy in London who has inherited his family's estate and toy manufacturing company after their tragic deaths. His name is Ciel, and he has made a pact with a demon. He sold his soul, and this demon is now his butler, who will obey any command that is given to him. The butler, he has named him Sebastian. Excellent cast of characters. I just love the house help people. They are just so funny. They're always bungling things, messing things up, and Sebastian is scolding them because he is just the epitome of the perfect butler. It's a fantastic show. I really like the story in this show. You're going to see kind of supernatural spins on some stories you may have known, and some completely new stories as well. But an example of that is that they have, you know, the rumors of Jack the Ripper going around London and murdering people, and then it ends up being sort of a different twist on the Jack the Ripper story that we all know. So I really liked those features of the show. I have a lot more of it to watch because it's kind of a long series, but I really enjoy it. I don't think it's ever boring. And the food, oh my goodness, can we talk about the food? If you've seen Black Butler, you know what I'm talking about. This is like one of the #1 food animes. You can actually find recipes from the show that people have recreated and have figured out how to make. It just has some of the most tasty looking food I've ever seen in an anime. Definitely don't watch this show on an empty stomach. You'll be starving by the end of it, and keep some snacks nearby. And like I said, it's not a very scary show. The premise of the show is creepy, that Sebastian's actually a demon, that you meet some kind of supernatural characters. Occasionally there is some blood, you know, not in every episode though. It's not a show like that. It's not primarily an action show, but there are some action sequences. I'll say overall, if you're looking for a show that is a little bit, you know, punched up on the thrill, I definitely recommend Black Butler. It's got enough humor in it to keep it from being scary. And surprisingly, Sebastian is a great source of humor throughout the show, and he's the scary demon that is the main character's sidekick. So it's actually a great balanced show, and I really enjoy watching it. So that was my quick list of anime recommendations for July 2017. Let me know in the comments below, what are you watching? Are you watching any of the same shows as me? Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!